Stormy Daniels is now responding to the news that the Manhattan judge in the criminal case where Donald Trump was convicted on 34 separate felony counts is partially lifting the gag order to allow Donald Trump to once again speak about or ridicule witnesses in the case, and also to make comments on the jury. Donald Trump had previously made multiple horrific statements about Stormy Daniels. She heroically testified at the criminal trial, and as Donald Trump's lawyer tried to cross-examine her, Stormy Daniels made an utter fool out of Donald Trump's lawyer. Let me show you Stormy Daniels' response, though, to the news that the gag order has been partially lifted and that Donald Trump can now make statements about her again. I want you to see what a responsible and thoughtful statement looks like. Here is what she writes. My response to everyone asking me about the Trump gag order being modified is, certainly, we have nothing but respect for Judge Merchan. His decision to impose restrictions on Mr. Trump as it related to reckless and unrelenting character attacks on court personnel, trial witnesses, and potentially jurors was extraordinary, but clearly justified given the defendant's uncontrollable daily rants. We also defer to the judge's review of that restriction post-trial in the context of free speech and any continuing danger to the judicial process. That's Stormy Daniels' statement. Compare that to what Donald Trump was saying about Stormy Daniels prior to the gag order being imposed. Donald Trump wrote, I did nothing wrong in the horseface case. I see she showed up in New York today trying to drum up some publicity for herself. I haven't seen or spoken to her since I took a picture with her on a golf course in full golf gear, including a hat, close to 18 years ago. She knows nothing about me other than her con man lawyer Avenatti and convicted liar and felon jailbird Michael Cohen may have schemed up. Never had an affair with her. Just another false acquisition by a sleazebag, witch hunt, exclamation point. And then he posted others like this. The racist Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who's presiding over the most violent and dangerous cities in the United States and doing nothing about it, bringing charges against me for an ancient, no affair story of Stormy Horseface Daniels, where there is no crime and charges have never been brought on such a case before. Look, a jury of Donald Trump's peers, who Donald Trump's lawyers had the opportunity to vet in the voir dire process, unanimously agreed that Donald Trump was guilty of the 34 felony counts he was charged with. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. The jury believed Stormy Daniels. The jury believed Michael Cohen. The jury believed all of the witnesses, including those who worked at the Trump Organization, who explained how Trump was behaving. And Donald Trump was too cowardly to take the stand and testify, despite Donald Trump claiming he was going to do so. But you see what an adult response looks like by Stormy Daniels compared to the petulant third grade wannabe fascist bullying comments by Donald Trump. How dare he call anybody a horseface? Just think about that. He's calling a woman a horseface, and he's the leader of the Republican Party. Over and over again, he calls her a horseface. By the way, let me show you Michael Cohen's response to the gag order being partially lifted today. Michael Cohen writes, for the past 6 years, Donald and his acolytes have been making constant negative statements about me. Donald's failed strategy of discrediting me so that he can avoid accountability didn't work then and won't work now. You have all of Donald Trump's MAGA crew on social media trying to attack Stormy, saying, you got 2 sold-out shows because of Trump. Had it not been for Trump and his trial, people wouldn't even know you exist. Just another something taking it X-rated movies. And Stormy Daniels' response, if it weren't for me, he wouldn't be a convicted felon. Then people are showing this evidence that was presented before the jury, which actually supports Donald Trump's guilt. And Stormy goes, what are you talking about? I mentioned this in my 2018 book, numerous interviews over the last 6 years and in court. Speaking of court, Keith Davidson testified that he wrote that at Michael Cohen's request, which was a violation on their part and helped me be released from the NDA and had it ruled as invalid. Stormy Daniels also says that millions of people, including 2 sets of jurors, have found Donald Trump liable. Here you have Donald Trump, just so you see his behavior, because I know you're seeing a lot of the Hannibal Lecter videos right now. I know you're seeing Donald Trump talking about how he'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks, and Donald Trump talking about migrant fight club, and he wants to round up migrants and have UFC fighters fight the migrants. That's one of the things that Donald Trump is saying is a policy that he wants to have. Go back to the other videos. I show him saying that. Here, before the criminal trial, you had Donald Trump saying things like this. Here, he's at the main right-wing convention. It's called CPAC, which used to be where real conservatives went. Now it's a MAGA maniac show. And here's what Donald Trump had to say about Stormy. Play this clip.
To bring charges against me for now ancient, no affair story of Stormy Horseface Daniels. No attraction. No affair. I call it no affair. Where there is no crime anyway.
And similarly on the campaign trail, and I'm sure we'll see this again now that the gag order has been partially lifted by Justice Merchan, Donald Trump would say things like this: no crime, no affair, I never liked a horse face. Play this clip.
The District Attorney of New York, under the auspices and direction of the Department of Injustice in Washington, D.C., was investigating me for something that is not a crime, not a misdemeanor, not an affair. I never liked Horseface. It's just not. That's a terrible thing. That wouldn't be the one. There is no one. We have a great first lady.
Have you heard that the flavored air category is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits, led by the sponsor of this video, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from, like crisp mint and orange vanilla. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, vapor, or combustion. Fume draws flavor to your mouth. Fume fills the void ditching a bad habit can leave. You still have something to reach for. Fume is not a vape. There's no vapor, and you could use it anywhere. There's no nicotine. It's not addictive. The non-toxic flavors are a guilt-free alternative. Fume doesn't use any batteries, so you'll never need to charge it. The design is super sleek. It looks awesome, and you can truly feel the weighted high-quality design. One of the things about Fume is that it's made to fidget with, and it calms anxiety with magnets, snaps, and clicks. Fume continuously invests in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. Fume is also backed by doctors in the United States. My favorite Fume flavor is crisp mint. It is honestly delicious, and I couldn't recommend this more for anyone trying to quit their bad habit. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be the next success story. For a limited time, use my code MEIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S, to get a free gift with your journey pack. So head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com. Tryfume.com. Use code Meidas or scan the QR code on screen to get a free gift with your order today. Should be noted as well that Stormy Daniels is not the only woman who Donald Trump called a horse face. Michael Cohen exposed exclusively on the MeidasTouch network on our show together, Political Beatdown, that Donald Trump and Trump's kids would often refer to Eric's wife, Lara, as a horse face as well. Here's what Michael Cohen had to say about that. Play this clip.
That's a common phrase by Trump, believe it or not. They used to refer to Lara Trump before she married Eric as horseface. It's really unbelievable because not only did Donald used to do that, but so did Don Jr. and so did Ivanka when they were referring to her. I've talked about this quite a bit. It's cruel, even if it's true. It's cruel, and it just, as you said, it goes to his character. But that doesn't seem to stop. That doesn't seem to stop his supporters at all. They actually find it funny.
So Cohen, the Trump family, Donald Trump, Don Jr., were calling Eric's wife, or at the time girlfriend, a horse face, the same name that Donald Trump uses to refer to Stormy Daniels?
Yes.
When Stormy sat down for an interview a few months back and she was asked what she thinks about Trump calling her a horse face. Here's what she had to say. Play the clip.
This is like our president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, outing to the world that he has a penchant for bestiality, because this is a guy who chased me for sex repeatedly and then says I look like a horse face. Like, how do you talk about the looks of someone that you were attracted to without making yourself look bad? I mean, it was hilarious.
When Justice Merchan lifted the gag order and kept the gag order only as it relates to the district attorney's staff and family members of the district attorney staff in court, Justice Merchan said he was doing it reluctantly. He said he didn't want to do it. He just said the law compelled him to do it because trial is now over, even though sentencing is set to take place on July 11th. The proceedings that exist mean that the gag order should remain against those participants still in the proceeding. The jury's been discharged, so they're no longer participants to the official proceeding, nor are the witnesses, since Donald Trump has now been convicted. Justice Merchan said, if I kept the gag order, we'd probably get reversed by the appellate division. I got to follow the law. So that's what Justice Merchan did. He did say that Donald Trump is still barred from outing any identities of jury members pursuant to a March protective order that was in place. But Justice Merchan said, look, I'm following the law. Here's what it says, and it's reluctant that I have to do this. And look, if Donald Trump engages in forms of threats and harassment that are criminal, there could be criminal charges brought for that. Now, sentencing of Donald Trump's going to be taking place July 11th. Donald Trump's behavior post-conviction will be a major part of that sentencing. And I'm sure a lot of these videos of Donald Trump harassing witnesses and saying these types of things are going to be brought up by the prosecutors, and we'll keep you posted here every step of the way. Michael Cohen has his own YouTube channel now. Check it out at The Michael Cohen Show. Go and subscribe. It's partnered with the MeidasTouch Network. More Michael Cohen content is always a good thing. He's got his own YouTube channel. It's at The Michael Cohen Show. Check it out. Have a good one, everybody. Hit subscribe on our channel as well.
Enough! Send him to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.